Okay, in part 2 of our lesson 2.8 on solving problems using trigonometry, we've got a couple of challenging problems we're going to look at. So the first involves a penguin balloon hanging out at the beginning of a parade route. And we are told that there are two cables attached to the underside of the penguin. So we've got one cable that's right here, and then we've got another cable that's right here. And again, these two cables are 10 feet apart, and they happen to be holding the penguin in place. So they're in the same plane as a perpendicular line from the penguin to the ground. That just means that we're going to be okay to use this as a couple of triangles that share a side. Okay. So the question is asked, how high above the ground is the penguin? Sorry for that little pause. I had to wait for music to stop playing. Anyways, we are looking for h, the height that the penguin is above the ground, and we've got a couple of cables with some angles that we're going to fill in here. So the cables, one of them makes a 48-degree angle, and the other makes a 40-degree angle with the ground. So I'm going to label those. This one is actually a little bit bigger than the other one. So this angle is the 48-degree angle. It's a steeper angle of elevation to get up to the penguin, whereas the other one is going to be 40 degrees. Okay, a little less steep, a little bit further distance to go. Now, how high above is the penguin? Well, one of the problems here is that we don't know what this distance is from, let's see, use orange again, from here to here. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to call that x. Okay. Now, because these triangles share a side, I'm going to use a little bit of system of equation idea here. So I know that I'm working with the opposite side compared to these angles, and I kind of know the adjacent side, so I'm going to use tangent again. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up one equation that says that the tangent of 48 degrees is equal to h, the height that I'm looking for, the opposite side, over x, that orange side. So I've got this green triangle that I've just created, okay, and tangent of 48 equals h over x. Then I'm also going to work with that 40-degree angle. I'm going to say that the tangent of 40 degrees is equal to that same opposite side. So the same opposite side, which is h, okay? So draw a red triangle. Over this distance right here would be the x plus the 10. So I have h, the height, over the adjacent side, which is x plus 10 feet, because remember it's 10 feet further away. Okay, so it's x plus 10 makes up this whole side of this right triangle right here. Now, what we really want is we want h. But we should probably know what x is in order to figure out what h is. Okay, so it's because I've got two variables, I do have two equations, so I'm going to use some substitution to solve here. So I think the easiest substitution that we can do is to solve for h in each of these equations. So first of all, as I solve for h in the green triangle, h is going to equal x times the tangent of 48 degrees. So that's simply multiplying the top and the bottom by, or multiplying both sides of the equation by x, excuse me. Whereas with the red triangle, h is going to be equal to, again, same idea, I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator, which happens to be x plus 10. Just put in parentheses x plus 10 times the tangent of 40 degrees. Okay? So, now, if h is equal to this expression and h is also equal to this expression, what we can do is we can set these two expressions equal to each other. So x times the tangent of 48 degrees is equal to x plus 10 times the tangent of 40 degrees. Now, we should solve for x. Okay? As we solve for x, I know that there's an x on the left, there's an x on the right. I need to have just one x on one side. So my first step would probably be to distribute the tangent over here. So we're going to have x times the tangent of 40 degrees plus 10 times the tangent of 40 degrees. So that's simply distributing the tangent of 40 degrees into the parentheses. Remember, this equals x times the tangent of 48. So that hasn't changed at all. Now I want to collect the variables on one side or the other. So the expressions with x, I'm going to move them together. So I'm going to subtract x tangent 40 and leave that alone. So we are going to have x times the tangent of 48 again. This is a lot of writing to do with the mouse. Bear with me here. Minus x times the tangent of 40 degrees equals 10 times the tangent of 40 is still there. All right, now we're solving for x, so at least we've got x all together on one side. Now, because both of these terms have an x in them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out that x. I'm going to factor out x and have x times, in parentheses, the tangent of 48, which is going to be a number, minus the tangent of 40, which is also going to be some number. And that equals the 10 tangent 40 still. A lot of writing to do with the mouse. It's okay. We've almost made it. Now, to solve for x, it's x times this. So the last step as I work to try to solve for x would be to divide. And then I'm dividing both sides. So I'm not going to write it more than once. Just check out what the answer is going to be. X is going to equal 10 tangent 40. And again, I haven't typed this in the calculator yet, but I will. Divided by the tangent of 48 minus the tangent of 40. That's a 40. Good. 40. Now, I'm going to type that in the calculator. Okay? So I'm going to clear these things. I'm going to take 10 tangent 40. I'm going to put that in parentheses. 10 tangent 40. Close the parentheses around the 40, close the parentheses around that expression, divided by, open up some parentheses, and take the tangent of 48 minus the tangent of 40. So tangent of 48, close that, minus the tangent of 40. Close it, and I had to make sure to close it, so I'm dividing by that difference. I'm in degree mode, it's good. I hit enter, and I get this 30.9 number. Now, I'm not going to cut that off, write that down just yet. Okay, so that's the value of x. Use my mistake there. That's x. Remember, I need to know what h is, though. That was the whole goal of all of this. Okay, just to know what h is. So this is x. Okay. How can I use that to find h? Well, if we scroll way back up to the top, we had an expression that would give us h, a couple of them. So I could plug in x here, or I could plug in x here. I'm going to choose to use this one because it looks a little bit easier to me. So if I know what x is equal to, it's that 30 point something number that's on my calculator. To find h, I would be taking that number times the tangent of 48 degrees. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to multiply it times the tangent of 48 degrees. So calculator-wise, I am going to be taking, actually I'm going to call this a. Okay, this is a, just so I know what I'm doing. So that's a. So the tangent of 48 degrees, okay, that's what it was, tangent of 48 degrees equals 8 over, and again, I'm plugging in a. I'm plugging in like that number, 30.9, whatever, okay? So I multiply that, a times the tangent of 48 is going to equal h, the height. So calculator-wise, because I left that number there, I'm going to take that number times, and again, when I just hit that button, it's going to use the previous answer, times the tangent of 48, hit enter, I got h. So h, the height of the penguin, would be at 34.3 number. We'll scroll that out here. We'll put that over the top of this. On top of this. So our final answer is equal to that number right there, 34.3 feet off the ground. And that would be the penguin problem, which is a rather difficult one, but something that I hope we can handle.